please enjoy a short preview of this episode. For more information about how to gain full access to this bonus episode, please follow the link below to our Patreon page. There you can join the community and support the show financially. Thank you. Welcome to New American Mythos, where old stories are kindled like firelight, and we gather round to remember the tales that shaped us. Our story tonight takes us to 8th century England, when the land of the Anglo-Saxons was still divided into several kingdoms, and much of the countryside remained wild and unsettled. Beyond the villages and monasteries stretched wide forests, lonely hills, and vast marshlands where few people chose to live. In the kingdom of Mercia, one of the most powerful realms of the English, there lived a man whose life followed a path few could have expected. His name was Guthlac. As a young man, Guthlac lived the life common to many noble warriors of his time. He gathered companions, led raids, and sought the reputation and wealth that came through battle. In those years, the sword was the measure of a man's honor, and the road to glory was often paved with violence. Yet, the victories he gained did not bring him the peace he expected. Over time, a quiet unease began to trouble him. The life he had chosen, of warfare and bloodshed, seemed to lead not toward honor, but toward ruin. The faith he had learned in his youth began to call him toward a different kind of life. So, Guthlac did something that astonished those who followed him. He laid down his sword and entered a monastery, seeking the discipline of prayer and repentance. But even there, he believed that God was calling him further still. For beyond the settled lands of Mercia lay a desolate region of marsh and fen, a place of dark waters and drifting mists known as Crowland. The people of the surrounding villages feared the place. They believed it was haunted by unclean spirits that lurked in the lonely wastes. It was precisely this place that Guthlac chose for his home. The warrior who had once sought glory in battle would now go into the wilderness alone. And there, in the silence of the marsh, he would face a struggle far more terrible than he had ever known before. Tonight, we remember Saint Guthlac of Crowland, the warrior who entered the haunted fen and turned a place of darkness into a place of prayer. The Life of Saint Guthlac. Section 1. The Warrior Who Grew Weary of War. Long before the quiet marsh of Crowland became known as a holy place, there lived in the kingdom of Mercia a young man named Guthlac. He was born into a noble family in the eastern regions of the land, at a time when the kingdoms of the English were still young and often at war with one another. From an early age, he was trained in the life expected of a nobleman, the life of a warrior. Guthlac grew strong and bold, skilled with weapons, and eager for the honor that came from battle. Like many young men of his time, he gathered companions around him and led a band of fighters across the countryside. They sought glory in raids and skirmishes, and for several years, Guthlac lived as many warriors did in those days, seeking wealth, reputation, and victory over their rivals. Yet, the victories that once stirred his pride gradually lost their power over him. In quiet moments, he found himself remembering the teachings of the Christian faith that he had heard as a child. The warnings about judgment, the call to repentance, and the promise of a different kind of life. The more he reflected on the path that he had chosen, the more it seemed that the glory of war was built upon suffering and bloodshed. The sword that had once seemed an instrument of honor now appeared to him as a burden upon his soul.